Hello, and a very warm welcome back to my dear listeners. This is your host Sharmishta, back with episode number 6 of Fear. Nantu's mother handed him a small bowl. Here, I made you some cottage cheese. Have it. Nantu put a spoonful or two into his mouth and spat it out. He threw the bowl on the floor. Oof, the smell of burnt flesh. I can't have it. His pet cat sitting nearby happily gobbled it up. It was late evening. The family members were watching TV, but Nantu was far away. He was huddled on his bed, his eyes shifting all across the room and sometimes outside his window to that mysterious sacrificial altar. There was suddenly a loud jangling sound in the courtyard. Nantu's eyes nearly fell out with fear. Ruma had heard the sound too. She put a reassuring hand on her brother. I'll check. Don't worry. She went downstairs and saw that their cow had kicked at a bucket, and that was the sound they had heard. There was suddenly a loud knock on the door. I'll go check, Pintu said. Don't go alone, Pintu. I'll come with you. Both of them went downstairs and opened the door. There was no one outside, but they had clearly heard a knock. It was nearly 10 in the night. Nantu refused to have dinner and stayed back in his room. The family was just about to sit down to eat when far from the jungles came the call which heralded the death knell always. Everyone looked up startled. Ruma panicked. She hoped her elder cousin had not heard it. The sound died away. Post-dinner, she sat down in her cousin's room. Her eyes went to the sacrificial altar outside the window. There was a stillness in the air and an eerie silence surrounding Dotto Babu's house. As she continued to look outside, she suddenly felt herself running short of breath. Ruma panicked. She wasn't imagining it. She was indeed having difficulty breathing. It was as if someone was throttling her. She looked at Nantu. He was asleep. For the first time, fear gripped her. She got up with a jump and ran out of the room, gasping for breath. And suddenly, in the stillness of the night, the call rang out again, low at first, and then rising, reaching a crescendo. It was horrible. Everyone in the house had heard it. Nantu's parents rushed into his room. He was shivering. His mother ran and put her arms around him. Ma, she's coming for me. Save me, Ma, keep her out. I don't want to die. His mother tightened her arms around him. The call seemed to be echoing all round the house, and suddenly it vanished right into the sacrificial altar area of Dotto Babu's house. Nantu went limp in his mother's arms. She screamed. Is this the end of it all? Has Giri finally kept her vow? Let's find out as I return soon with the next episode. Till then.